Hello, Bachelor Nation. It's Chris Harrison. Brought my entire family in this morning. It is the most wonderful time of year. That's right. I am here to introduce you to the women of Peter's season of The Bachelor. And I'm just going to tell you right now, I've been hearing it. Don't worry. This season, there won't be any references to windmills, cockpits, aviation, flying, none of it. Hold on. I'm being told that's not true. I'm being told that we're going to beat those jokes to death. We will drive them into the ground in true Bachelor fashion. So hold on tight. It's going to be a bumpy ride. Hey, 30 women to get through, so let's meet them. And by the way, stick around because I know you're getting your fantasy brackets ready. You play the Fantasy Bachelor. I got some spoilers that are going to make you some big points, so pay attention. Got some Easter eggs hidden throughout. Some are pretty easy to find. Start with Alea, 24-year-old Miss Texas 2019. It's been a while since we've had a pageant girl. That was last season. So a year ago, obviously, we introduced you to the pageant world with Hannah and Kaylin. There you go. She is definitely a part of that world. Maybe the wildest roller coaster ride of the entire season centers around Alea. Controversy, emotion, something we've never had happen before on this show. The history of the show happens to Alea. So definitely someone to watch. Very Letterman-esque we're going to be. You guys remember David Letterman? Is that a thing? People, kids, Google David Letterman, kids. Alexis from Chicago, Illinois. She's a body waxer. First of all, best hair. Easily the best hair. Love the do. She's a body waxer. Showed us something we've never seen before, and she has seen things you never want to see ever. She's a bit of a contradiction, though. Very reserved, yet incredibly outrageous. So fun, definitely someone to keep an eye on is Alexa. Avonlea. Wow, she's doing the robot. Let's not hold that against her. Don't hold the pop and lock against Avonlea. I think that's new that in the graphic where we have them moving like that. We should probably not do that on their behalf. She's from Fort Worth, Texas. Also a first. We've never had a cattle rancher / model on the show, but she is a cattle rancher / model. More reserved than you might expect, but a woman who will dare you to tell her she can't do something. Cattle rancher / model. Courtney's from Venice, Florida. Well, this is... I really feel bad about doing that to him. A Florida cosmetologist, appreciates patience and the value of it, and a good joke. Remember how I said there might be some aviation references? Courtney, prepare to take off. Deandra is from my home state, and she's flossing. She's from Plano, Texas, healthcare coordinator. We're Texas heavy. I'm just letting you know. I have nothing to do with this. You guys know I'm from Dallas if you've watched the show at all. I had nothing to do with this, but we are pretty Texas heavy this season. Also, Chicago plays pretty heavy into it. This is not your typical Texas girl, though. Deandra's father, pretty interesting story, heavily involved in Nigerian politics, which kept her and her 10 siblings, moving around a lot throughout their childhood, but still considers Texas her home. Very expressive eyes. Facial reactions, something you're going to want to watch this season with Deandra. Very expressive. Eunice, I mentioned Chicago. This is Eunice from Chicago, Illinois. Flight attendant. And you talk about contradictions. This really is. She's a flight attendant who does not like to fly. She just likes the lifestyle. You know what? Whatever floats your boat, Eunice, or flies your plane. We've had a lot of instances this season where girls knew other girls coming into the show. So Eunice is a flight attendant for a certain airline. So is another girl on this season. So pretty interesting that we have that a couple of times where they kind of come into the mansion knowing each other. Hannah Ann from Knoxville, Tennessee. A model that actually came to us from Hannah G. So Hannah G, you guys might remember, obviously, was on Bachelor in Paradise, got engaged to Dylan, found her love story in Paradise. Well, she had this great, beautiful girl, Hannah Ann, and gave us another Hannah. So despite that, it really seems like Hannah Ann had no idea what was going on. She seemed very naive about this whole Bachelor world. For someone who was so naive and innocent, she ended up in the middle of absolutely everything. Every bit of drama you could run into, this was Hannah Ann. But let me just say this about her. Seems sweet, quiet, reserved. Girl's got a backbone. Girl's got a backbone. Jade from Mesa, Arizona. Means table in Spanish. Mesa does, not Jade. You thought those 2 years of Spanish in high school weren't going to pay off. Another of our lovely flight attendants, not the one from Eunice's airline, a different one, just another flight attendant. She's working on actually getting her private pilot's license. So smart, driven girl, knows what she wants. Can you have two pilots fall in love? We'll see if she can light that pilot light. Thank you. Jasmine, another Texas girl, but down in Houston, Texas, so barely a part of Texas. Actually, most of us don't even recognize Houston as part of Texas. It's a rivalry thing. I'm kidding. Don't send me any notes on the Instagram or the Twitter. So another girl from Texas, Jasmine, very proud of her Vietnamese background, speaks it fluently, actually uses this on night one, comes out of the limo, firing Vietnamese at Peter. When it's translated, it's aggressive. One of the more aggressive, I'll just say that it's dirty. It's just dirty. So I like her a lot. Spicy Vietnamese. That's Jasmine, right? Yes. Jenna from New Lenox, Illinois. New Lenox on the board. We should have a ding, but we don't. I don't think we've ever had anybody from New Lenox. Bold, funny, Illinois nurse, comes on strong from the start. Night one, she actually arrives with another lady. So I think this might be a first where she comes in with another lady and then leaves that lady with Peter. So wait until you meet Ashley P. Yeah, I don't think we've ever seen anything quite like it. Utterly ridiculous, but it happens. Katrina. Katrina, Chicago, Illinois. I don't know who's responsible for the day. I like it, though. I like the graphics upgrade here in 2019. We're really moving along. What is this, third year we've done this? We're really getting into this thing. Speaking of bold entrances, professional dancer for a soon-to-be playoff NFL football team. They might have the MVP quarterback. Look, she's from Chicago. You don't know I'm talking about the Bears and Trubisky. No offense, Chicago. It's a team that may play in and around the Kansas City area. Not to give you a spoiler alert. Probably the best intro to the season, maybe. Very aggressive. You know, I talked about the Vietnamese intro, and that was very dirty. This was pretty aggressive and very good. Beautiful, with more personality than she knows what to do with. Night one, you'll enjoy Katrina. Kelly, shockingly, from Chicago, Illinois. I'm not sure if we found a lot of great girls or we really just got lazy this season with our casting. I feel like we went to Texas and Illinois and we're like, we're good. We got it. She's an attorney, and an attorney, they usually do pretty well on our show. You think back to like Andy Dorfman and some of the other attorneys we've had. Smart, knows how to work the game. Kelly definitely plays the game, uses all of the rules, and actually makes up rules and finds loopholes to her advantage. This is interesting. So Kelly met Peter prior to the taping of the show. This is completely random, but they met at a hotel. They were both at for separate parties. She knew Peter. Peter obviously didn't know her. She went up to him and they met, and they both think this could be destiny. So keep an eye on Kelly. Very interesting story, and it kind of becomes a thing night one when everyone starts to find out, obviously, that they met. Kelsey from Des Moines. Apparently, we went from Illinois to Des Moines. So in Iowa, another former pageant girl, former Miss Iowa, and definitely one to watch. Obviously beautiful, you see by the picture there. One of the most emotional women on the cast. She coined the phrase, crying is cool, hashtag crying is cool. I think Ashley I actually owns the intellectual property of crying is cool. Kelsey, you can't steal that. I'm sorry. Wait until you see Champagne Gate. A little bit of a spoiler alert on this Champagne Gate 2019. It's unbelievable. You'll be thinking to yourself, this might be the most ridiculous thing. How am I watching this? And there's no way you won't watch it. It's awesome. When we're sitting there in the control room going, I can't believe this is happening, you're going to enjoy this. Kiara, from Kennesaw, Georgia. I don't know if we've ever hit Kennesaw as well, so welcome to the show, Kennesaw. I'm not often impressed by entrances the first night, but when Kiara came down the driveway, I was impressed. How she really, really put her life in danger. I'm not joking. This was a dangerous entrance, and I'm not sure it's probably even legal to have done this to her or had her do this, but she did it, and I'm telling you, it's damn impressive. She has a nickname, comes into the house, gets a nickname, Kiki. That's going to annoy you eventually, too. I'm just telling you right now, apologies, you're going to be like, enough with the Kiki stuff and the song and the whole thing. But, you know, there's always a house favorite where a girl really becomes just endearing to everybody in the house. She's a favorite, so watch out for Kiki. And she's one of Peter's favorites as well. KYLIE from Santa Monica, California, right down the street. KYLIE's yet another bold woman that left Peter's jaw on the floor straight out of the limo. A bit of a last season windmill reference. We should have a ding every time it goes off. Just don't drink. Don't do the thing where like, we're going to take shots every time there's a windmill or like aviation reference. Don't do that, because you will not make it out of the house. She set the bar very, very high for both of them, though, with her entrance. So there you go. Lauren from Glendale, California, just down the street from where we are. Oh, Lauren gave me a little look. What's up, girl? Ambitious, beautiful, self-made woman that was the envy of almost every woman on the show. Night one, maybe one of the best night one outfits. Came out, was stunning. Stunning. So Lauren was definitely the envy of everybody night one. She made a statement in a good way. So there you go. May have to put her on your list if you're doing fantasy bacheloring. Lexi from New York City, but a Florida girl at heart. One of 6 siblings, a lot of girls from big families this season. Left the swampland to do the Sex and the City thing, moved to the big city, New York. Smart, charming, clever. Lexi has also a really good entrance on night one in a way that really impresses Peter. You know, some of the girls kind of do the crazy thing, outlandish thing, aggressive thing. She just did a cool thing and really drove her way right into Peter's heart on that first night. That's Lexi. Madison. She is from Auburn. Go, girl. Yes. That kind of just summed it up right there. Auburn girl, don't say Roll Tide. Look, we had a whole season of Roll Tide. Do not say that to Madison. She's an Auburn Tiger. With her dad, by the way, who was an assistant coach for Auburn's Final Four basketball team. Madison, also a heck of a hoops player herself. Former MVP for her 4-time state champion high school hoops team. So, badass girl here. What makes her even more special? Heart of gold. She is a recruiter that matched foster parents with children. So this is a good girl. Spoiler alert. Anybody playing fantasy Bachelor out there? First one-on-one date. So a bit of a spoiler here. Madison, if you're watching, you're ahead in your game. I know people get points for the first date, first kiss, and all that stuff. So I'm going to give you some points just because, well, it's almost Christmas, and I'm a giving guy. So, first one-on-one date. I know, I love you guys. I love you, Bachelor Nation. It's what I do. And we got all dressed up to be here, so might as well. So there you go. First one-on-one, Madison. Easy points. MAURISSA from Atlanta, Georgia. Teen pageant queen. We've really gone deep and laid into this pageant thing. MAURISSA's story is not one you hear often, though. This is really a great story in all seriousness. Struggled with her body image while doing the teen pageant thing, which caused her to kind of, you know, pendulum swing to the other side and gained almost 80 pounds. But a failed relationship caused her to kind of look at herself in the mirror and do this whole life change. So she is a great, powerful woman, has a strong message, a wonderful story. So really excited for you to meet MAURISSA. Good story. Megan from up in San Francisco. Did I mention we had some flight attendants? We're really laying heavy into not only the pageant thing, but also the flight attendant thing. So Peter's a pilot. I don't know if you guys knew that. Yeah. So Megan's a flight attendant. In fact, she's a flight attendant for the same airline as Eunice. Yes, this is the Eunice connection here. Look, for those that don't know, Peter's mom was a flight attendant. And when Peter's dad was a pilot, they met, fell in love, and the rest is history. And Peter really does admire and look up to his parents and their relationship and thinks that is something, a goal he really wants to obtain. So will history repeat itself? Will he fall in love with a flight attendant? We'll find out this season on The Bachelor. MYKENNA. She is from Langley, British Columbia. Caitlin Bristow, shout out. Jillian Harris, shout out. Got some Canadians on the show, and they're always great. Always a little nutty. In a good way. I love them. You know I love my Canadians. And by the way, shout out to our friends in the North. You guys have been such a powerful part of Bachelor Nation. Thank you very much. Canada getting a standing O in the house. Self-described fashion blogger and acne survivor. All right. Who considers her ability to dance with a full glass of wine and not spill a drop as her greatest talent. This is a girl I can wrap my heart around. I love that. I love that. I can get behind that. Definitely wears her heart on her sleeve, and that sleeve is on her face. What I mean by this, I've never, and never is like never, bold, never seen a woman whose face visibly reflected the true agony of being the last rose recipient of the night, as MYKENNA's did. Wears her emotions on her face. Just Bachelor Nation, watch and enjoy. Trust me. This is good. NATASHA from New York City. A friend of a friend, a producer on our show, sent us this New York City event planner. We couldn't be more grateful. Love NATASHA. Sharp tongue, even sharper wit. NATASHA never holds back from using either of those things. Look, you're going to hear this season something we call, it's a kind of a reference, cats and rats. It's something that has to do with what's going on in the house. NATASHA coins this phrase, remember cats and rats. And I'll leave it at that. I don't want to spoil anything. I don't want to spoil too much. That's not going to get you any points. So cats and rats comes from her. Payton from Wellesley, Massachusetts. Windmill reference alert. Windmill reference alert. She is the life of every party. Peyton's the type of woman who walks into a place, a bar, whatever, with no friends, walks out with 100 new friends. So she makes a presence right out of the limo. Interesting story with Peyton, though. She grew up in Ohio with 4 siblings, but through Facebook, recently discovered she has a 5th sibling. That has nothing to do with the show at all. I just think that's an incredible story. And it's true, and it's something she found out via Facebook, so that's cool. Cool life story. Sarah, Knoxville, Tennessee. This girl's a favorite from the start. I feel like I should let them finish their dance. A favorite from the start with a heart of gold to match with her classic beauty. Medical radiographer. Obviously a pretty smart girl, easily the best cook in the mansion. Again, everyone kind of finds their place, and there's always the caretaker, there's the mom, there's the, the saboteur or whatever. Sarah is definitely the cook. I mean, she does these amazing meals for 30 people, which is a great way to endear yourself to the house. So a house favorite, but also a favorite of Peter's. So watch out. Savannah from Houston, Texas. Finally, a Texas girl on the show. I've talked about bold limo entrances. Savannah's was bolder. Spoiler alert for you fantasy players out there. Do you get points for a first kiss?
Thank you, Chris.
You're welcome. First kiss. I'm not going to say she gets it, but that's who I would bet on. And you know what else she did? Danced and cheered professionally for her team. Well, their Major League Baseball team won the last couple of World Series. She did not cheat, though. She was not embroiled in that cheating scandal at all. And I won't tell you that it's the Houston Astros. Still bitter because I'm a Rangers guy, and they're in the West, and it's sports. Sheehan is from Vegas. Sheehan may be a favorite of the entire crew. You know, we are not immune to having our favorites as well. And she's just one that came right out of the limo, and you'll understand why. She kind of has a nickname coming out of the limo. I don't want to ruin it because it has this whole story behind it. But she's a fan favorite. She's going to be. She's a crew favorite. Will she be one of Peter's favorites? We will see. Sydney from Birmingham, Alabama. Talk about a surprise. Sydney walked in sweet, soft-spoken, from the same high school as Hannah Brown, by the way. Yeah, they went to school together there in Birmingham, Alabama. But it wasn't long before everyone knew that Sydney would say anything. So anything that was on your mind, you know, the bubble that pops over your head, and you're like, that's probably not appropriate, not the right thing to say. Sydney says it. So you're going to love her. She's that girl. A certain Bachelor, I also know, said that she may be one of the best kissers in the group. Spoiler alert, for more points. Watch out for Sydney and those luscious lips, apparently. Tammy from Syracuse, New York. She's a house flipper up there in Syracuse. Pretty amazing woman. I mean, she might be my favorite story of the year. She has 6 jobs. She is more of a symbol of the American dream than anyone I know and anyone maybe who's ever been on the show. We've had some great stories throughout the years, but Tammy really is. She comes from a hardworking family that immigrated during the Vietnam War and encouraged Tammy to go after what she wanted. In high school, this is what a badass this woman is. In high school, she wanted to wrestle. So she went out for the wrestling team, the boys' wrestling team. They told her no. So Tammy just kept showing up, wouldn't quit, and made the wrestling team, and by the way, went 7-1 in her wrestling matches against the boys. So, badass, strong woman, American dream, the kind of girl that you just love to showcase and put a big bright spotlight on the show. So, you go, Tammy. Can't wait to introduce you to the rest of the world. A couple left here. A couple Victorias. Victoria F. is from Virginia Beach. So forget all the superlatives I've said about everyone else this entire season. Victoria F. is the most everything. Passionate would be an understatement. And on top of the passion, I'm not sure I've ever seen a single woman on this show go through as much during her time on the show as Victoria F. She goes through everything. Everything that you could go through, she goes through on this show. And kind of, in a weird way, everything that happened was also a Bachelor first. It was really bizarre. It's kind of like in a weird way watching Forrest Gump. And I know that's a weird analogy. It's a really strange one, but you're like, wow, he's in the Vietnam War. And it's like, oh, he started a Bubba Gump shrimp, and then like, oh, he's on the moon, and oh, he met the president. And it was like, so all that, but in a crazy way. That was Victoria F. I don't know if I probably shouldn't deem her the Forrest Gump of the show. That's not really fair, but hopefully you get what I mean. Probably get in trouble for that one. Victoria P. from Alexandria, a nurse from Louisiana who's been through a lot. After losing her father at a young age, was forced to raise her sister when her mom struggled with addiction while trying to cope. So strong, amazing, independent woman. We have a lot of these women who come in this season, honestly, with great stories. True American stories, or just great strength and determination, things they've overcome. And I believe, not to pat ourselves on the back, I think we do a really good job of kind of shining a light on that. And we have a good time, but also really, showing that we have some strong, badass women in this group. But quick with her emotions, and maybe a little quick with the L word this season. My hands are empty. Bachelor Nation. That's your 30. That is your 30. Those are the 30 women all vying for Peter's heart. Who will get the first impression, Rose? Well, you know who gets the first date. You know who might get that first kiss. Hopefully I've helped you out in your fantasy leagues. So hopefully this has been a good early holiday / Christmas present for you. Everybody have a safe, healthy, happy, wonderful new year. I love coming out here and doing this for you and setting up the season. I am excited. I'm excited for Peter. He is a dear man. He's a good man, very sincere. You know, I wouldn't say the most sincere ever because that gets me in trouble, but he's one of the most sincere we've ever had. You guys know his mom and dad. He comes from a great family, and he's just excited about this. So excited, he's cut up about it. It was a reference because he cuts himself. It was an accident. So do you guys have a favorite? Be sure to leave a comment below. Let us know what you think. Bachelor Nation, let's get fired up. Let's get ready for this season. And don't forget to watch 3-hour season premiere. Yes, it's 3 hours. So get ready. Get your boxes of wine. Get your pints of ice cream. Get your donuts. Get your chocolate. Get your Kleenex. It's going to be a wild, emotional, dramatic ride. Yes, it is the most dramatic season ever. The premiere of The Bachelor, Monday, January 6th, 8, 7 Central on ABC. Thanks for watching. Now, one more present. Here's a longer look at the women of Peter's season of The Bachelor.
Welcome aboard.
Perfect. He's really cute. Who wouldn't be excited?
Are we near an airport? Because you just made my heart take off.
I see you standing there trying to look.
Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated. The Bachelor's ready for takeoff.
My eyes on you, and baby, I'm here to stay.
Now I have one question for you.
What's that?
Are you ready for round 5?
Nice try.
Meet me on the dance floor. You, me, about to lose control.
I am crazy, but in the best way.
I'm sure the claws will come out sooner or later.
Don't try to play dumb.
I didn't know. It just came out of nowhere.
'Cause I know this is love.
You're the most handsome pilot I've ever seen.
On a scale of 1 to America, how free are you tonight?
It was not cute.
Can I steal him for a second?
No.
Payback's a bitch.
Bye.
Me won't stop until the morning, 'cause I know.
You disrespected a lot of people. I'm sorry. I never want to date in.
What else could go wrong?
Expect turbulence.